We're here in Dover, Delaware for today's Transit Unplugged podcast. I'm Paul Comfort, and as you know, we're moving now to video podcasts, and so I'm excited to be here in person to do the first one kind of on location for the podcast. We're going to be interviewing John Sisson, who is the CEO of the agency. He's been here for a while. We're also going to be talking to Lilia Montoya, who is the incoming CEO. They've done a 1-month overlap of their positions, which is great. You hardly ever get that anymore. We're going to go around the state some with them. We're filming a Transit Unplugged TV show while we're here. We're excited to bring you a great in-depth interview with my friend and CEO, John Sisson.
All right. Well, Paul, welcome to Delaware Transit Corporation, the operator of DART First States, our Dover Administration and Maintenance and Operations building. I understand you've been checking out the state so far a little bit.
Yeah, it's been great, John. Thanks for hosting us. You got a great staff. They've done an amazing work. So tell us some about the agency itself, because you're very unique.
Yes.
I mean, you're a statewide agency.
So the Delaware Transit Corporation was formed in 1995 to run statewide public transit for the entire state of Delaware. Why we're a small state, we're a little bit diverse state. So up in Newcastle County, we have the city of Wilmington, which is a key city actually in the country because it's where a lot of companies are incorporated in Delaware, and they do a lot of business there. But we're almost a little bit of a suburb of Philadelphia. We have our SEPTA services that come in, rail services that come in and help us connect the metropolitan area of Philadelphia and Wilmington and South Jersey. As you come down the state, we're here in Dover, the capital of the first state, right? So we're about to celebrate the country's 250th anniversary. We're proud to be the first state in the nation in ratifying that. So we were the first to sign the Constitution in 1787, it's a little bit after the Declaration of Independence. Our state government's run out of here. We have Dover Air Force Base, which is a major Air Force base in the country. It's probably known best for fallen soldiers and military come here and the dignified transfer there. The president is unfortunately here too many times to do that activity. It's a suburban area in Dover here, and then we go down to Sussex County, a lot of farmland, but we have some of the country's greatest beaches and resort town.
Yes, you do.
And we have a lot of people retiring from the Mid-Atlantic coming to this area. Delaware is a great place to live.
No sales tax.
No sales tax, low property tax, and then the beach community is just wonderful. We have beaches along the Atlantic Ocean, up the Delaware River, and we have bays and lots of activities, lots of great restaurants and things to do down there. So in the summertime, we started a couple of weeks ago with our beach bus service, which we ramp up to just get people down to the boardwalks and the resort community. There's a ferry that comes across from Cape May that connects us to South Jersey. We connect Ocean City, Maryland. So overall in our system, we're a fixed route system, obviously. So we provide local fixed route in each of the areas. We connect that with inter-county bus service. I mentioned we have the SEPTA commuter rail service coming into Newcastle County. We have a couple of micro transit routes and we're going to continue to expand them. But what we're known most for in the industry is we do statewide paratransit door to door. We were the first in the nation to do that about 52 years ago.
Wow.
And so we continue to do that. It is a big part of our service. It's actually bigger than our fixed route service and the number of operators and buses that we do.
Wow.
But it's so critical to the community that we serve, who might not be able to get around, get to medical appointments, get to daycare type services, adult daycare, whatever those types of services, or even just go to church, go to a restaurant, go to shopping, do whatever you do. We provide that statewide door to door.
So John, you and I have known each other a while. We're kind of neighboring states here. You've been CEO for over a decade here. Tell us about kind of your career, your legacy, because I heard a rumor you might be retiring.
I might be. Yeah, so the rumors are true.
Okay.
I am retiring beginning of July. So I started my career right out of college in 1993. Actually, I did a summer internship before that.
Wow.
And so it was originally the part of the Railroad Administration, and then when Delaware Transit Corporation was formed in 1995, we brought all the transit agencies under one roof. So I work through contract bus operations, I work through facilities, capital projects, all those types of things. I got into performance management, looking at how the agency operated, and about 12 years ago I became CEO. Transit, I never thought about this coming out of college or what my career would be. I was a mechanical engineer in school.
Oh, yeah.
I did some civil engineering work too. Somehow it gets in your blood, right? And once you get involved in it, you live it every day. And as I grew in my career, the responsibilities change, obviously, the roles change. You grow from being the taskmaster to, actually making sure, creating a vision for what the corporation needs to do. Where do we need to go in the future? We've gone through a lot of things, economic crisis in '08, COVID. COVID really changed our business, as we all know. But it's been a long haul. It's been great, but it's time for something new. This is a 24/7 job, right? You know that, you did it. It can be a little bit much on you, but I also think, 12 years as a CEO in one organization straight is a long time. I think there's opportunity for new vision, new leadership, and I'm excited about Lilia Montoya, who's here now. She's going to be shadowing me for the next month or so. She's asking me great questions, talking about her experience and things she's done, and like, oh yeah, we might be able to do something different here, right? And do something different. So she's going to do an amazing job. We have an amazing team here.
We have something interesting kind of on the Northeast United States. There's a bunch of state agencies like New Jersey Transit, CT Transit, Delaware, Maryland, that are state agencies.
Yes.
How does that work?
So it's really cool. So as a CEO of Delaware Transit Corporation, I report directly to the Secretary of Transportation, Shante Hastings. And I sit at the table with the DelDOT leadership team, and we truly try to integrate into a multimodal transportation network. It creates partnerships, whether it's through snow removal and the department's making sure they prioritize bus routes to get cleared and do those types of things. Just this morning, I sat on a value engineering committee for a roadway expansion project to make sure that pedestrian, transit, multimodal aspects of highway projects are being really considered and thought into what we do. And so we're not on an island by ourselves. I've formed great relationships over the years to make sure that we just, back when I started my career, I might have gotten a little frustrated and called them the highway department because all they thought about was cars and trucks, but it's not that way anymore. And especially in Delaware with the leadership from Shante, we make sure that every ride is critical. Safety is paramount in what we do. So my safety issues are integrated into the highway road safety issues and all the other things that happen. A transit rider is always a pedestrian as well, as we all know that. So how they get to our system matters. We used to call it non-motorized transportation, but these e-bikes, these e-scooters and everything else are so critical to the integration of what we do. So they're getting to my system on these little motorized vehicles, and how do we make sure that they do that safely and so everyone gets home alive?
Oh yeah, that's great. Well, this has been great, John. I know we're going to hang out some today. You're going to show me around some other sites, and I'm excited to talk to your incoming CEO. Why don't we go out and talk to her outside?
Sounds like a great idea.
Right, thanks
Paul.
Well, Lilia, excited to have you here on the show with us. This is like your first week, right?
My third day.
Third day.
Third day.
What'd you do the first day? John just told me a wild story about what you all did with the DOT kind of experience with all the leaders.
Yeah, with the DelDOT leaders, and it was with our secretary, and it was wonderful. We climbed the Inlet River, 350 feet, about 25 floors, so you can imagine.
Like on a ladder, you climbed up the bridge?
Yes.
What was that about?
It was literally
team building.
It was definitely, but a quick way to build trust, collaboration, and definitely courage.
Show you one of the state's assets, right? That's a big state asset.
But once you hit the top, it was breathtaking, and it was just refreshing.
I've driven over that. That's a fantastic bridge, and you know what? It highlights what John and I were just talking about, is the intermodal nature of a state agency, where you're working hand in glove with state highway and with all the other administrations. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had that in your past experience? What's been your past experience?
Actually, it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah?
Believe it or not, I started my transportation career in heavy rail.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and so I spent 8.5 years with a Class 1 railroad for 8.5 years, and then I transitioned over to the public sector. So therefore, I've had a little bit of experience, or maybe a lot of experience over 2 decades in heavy rail, public transit, and school bus.
School bus.
Yes.
That's something. And what attracted you here to Delaware, to the East Coast from out in California?
It was amazing. It was just a matter of opportunity, and honestly, when I came out for my interview, it was just driving into the state, perfectly clean. Not one bit of trash on the highway, and it's green.
It's green.
It's green, but also the people are lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, as the employees here.
And have you ever had a Dartley? Come on over, Dartley.
Love Dartley.
All right, high five, buddy. Yeah, so this is a great, I think, fun way to introduce transit. You talked about school kids, maybe think about it. Mm-hmm. Introduce them to the concept of getting on transit, having fun.
Yes, I think it's a great concept also, to teach children about the value in public transit.
Yeah. So what are you excited for coming up? You're just getting on the ground here in Delaware. You've moved out, I guess?
I have 5 days in the state.
Lock, stock, and barrel. You're here, huh?
I'm here, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's exciting. So this is an exciting time, right? Have you ever been a CEO before, and what are you excited about?
This is my first run as a CEO. I have been a deputy CEO. I've been chief operating officer as well.
Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm. But I've grown in my career, and it's been valuable experience, a lot of learning. But I'm really excited about living in Delaware, learning about Delaware, and there's definitely different changes as far as legislature from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yeah.
But the most exciting part is really learning this system here, and I'm really excited about the collaboration with DelDOT and how we work together. I mean, it's been a very warm welcome, and I really love the feel that the employees and everyone has embraced me. So
That's great.
It's been very nice.
Something that's really great, I think, I would have loved to have had this when I was a CEO. You've got a month to overlap with John. So he's kind of showing you the ropes and introducing you to everybody. How is that, having a month where you can kind of come in and work alongside the CEO as he begins to retire?
It's an interesting question. I think that agencies normally try to build a succession plan, and to have this is really an honor to be able to work with John and to have that seamless transition and to be able to see and learn about projects that are ongoing, and also, things that are pressing at this time, and then, our pinch points and also our successes. And so I want to be able to lead and to follow through with that. So therefore we don't have that gap. So in my 22 years in the transportation industry, this is the first time I've had this valuable experience. And so therefore I hope to be able to continue to advocate for to have something like this for the future.
Yeah. Kudos to the state for having the foresight to do this. It's really a model, I think, for the industry. So
it really is.
How about we head out to lunch and we all go down to the beach?
Let's do it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Transit Unplugged podcast. We are so glad you're here. If you're enjoying this show, we know you'll love our other transit industry programs. On Transit Unplugged TV, Paul Comfort explores the food, culture, and transit systems around the globe. You get to see everything. You'll love this show. And every week, we also offer up the Transit Unplugged News Minute, where you can get the latest industry headlines in less than 60 seconds. You can find out more at transitunplugged.com. Now back to Paul Comfort for this edition of the award-winning Transit Unplugged podcast.
John, we're continuing the podcast with you now, so and Lilia too. We're tell us where we're at and what we're doing.
So we're at the Lewis Transit Center on one of our battery electric buses.
Okay.
And we're gonna take the bus lane down to the Rehoboth Boardwalk.
All right.
So traditionally it's the Route 201 here and on our beach bus services that runs frequently to get people out of the congestion to the boardwalk, avoid the $4 an hour parking, avoid looking for parking. It's fast, easy, and convenient.
That's great, man. So let's talk about your service as a whole. We talked a little bit about it at your operation, though, but I want to expand a little bit about this, like 3 parts of the state. You've got 3 counties, and you really run kind of different type of services in each area. Tell me about that.
Right. So Wilmington is an urbanized area.
Yeah.
From a transit FTA standpoint, we're in an urbanized area, right? So you have a city, you have central business district, and you're running your traditional fixed route services. Bringing people into work, shopping, all those different things. But it's your traditional service area. As you go down the state, the center of the state, we have a state capital, Dover. And it's more of a suburban, more than rural, but a suburban type service. So we run a pulse system kind of in and out of the city and still connect people where they go. And then when you come down here in the lower part of the state, Sussex County, you got 2 aspects of it. So we have a real rural area, farmlands, but there's still communities. And then we have a resort vacation destination at the beach.
Yeah.
So in the summer, we have service year round out here, but the summer we go to a 7-day operation that's probably 22 hours a day in service. Yeah. So we get people late at night getting off work or leaving entertainment that can get around. You have a lot of students, foreign students that come in here to work and come here without cars, and transportation's key for them.
So it's big resort. You got Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, Lewis, and Rehoboth, right?
Rehoboth, and we also connect in Ocean City, Maryland, and connect with their transit system.
So when I was in MTA Baltimore, we used to loan Ocean City a dozen of our articulated buses every
Right.
summer because
Yeah.
they had so much extra traffic. Then I bet you, how do you all handle all the extra flux here?
So when we do it again, so in the summer we ramp up service, more frequency. We have special events like Rehoboth Fireworks.
Yeah.
We'll bring extra buses down from Wilmington to help with the crush loads and manage it that way. And then with all of those 3 counties, we connect them with our inter-county buses.
Okay.
So we're you can get from Lewis to Dover and then transfer a bus from Dover to Wilmington. And then on the weekends in the summer, we run a bus from Wilmington to Dover to the beach area. So get people down here to the beach and make sure we're connecting Newark to Dover in different ways. So
Yeah.
we really do cover the state and the
amazing.
transportation needs.
Now, funding-wise, do you all get any funding from the counties, or are you all state money, or how does all that work?
So we're all state transportation, the federal dollars that come in.
Right.
The rest of it comes through DelDOT. We're a division of DelDOT and their transportation trust fund.
Okay, which
And
is gas tax,
Gas tax, motor vehicles, tolls.
some corporate tax like Maryland?
No corporate
corporate
tax. So there's
tax,
just
okay.
things, and it does a pretty good job. They're always looking to make sure that it's keeping up with the times
Yeah.
and inflation.
But you guys aren't coming up to a fiscal cliff or anything.
No, you always,
Right.
Post-COVID, there's always fiscal pressure, right? You got to be efficient and you got to be smart with what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're adjusting routes based on changes in demand by COVID.
Right.
But we're not out for we're not out for those types of
Right.
things.
You're not looking for a property tax.
No.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Liliana, let me ask you a question. You were at Long Beach, right? Which was kind of like a resort. How is that different? What was your job there, and how was that different than what you're doing here, do you think? Or same?
Well, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
I mean, here, because as what John has stated, this is state run. And
Oh, right. Yeah, and you were like a local operation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so our operation there, I was a deputy CEO there, and we also had, boats.
Oh,
So the service
okay.
was, yes,
Yeah.
that we had contracted out, but that was just local, just around the bay.
Yes, gotcha.
Yes.
But it's a resort town, so did you have to ramp up and down through the seasons? Or California's always nice, right? It never rains in California?
I guess it may be viewed as a resort town, but it's it's a busy city.
Okay.
The ridership had increased also with the student ridership it made it went up like 1,000%.
Wow.
With that initiative, and we also had a shuttle service over to UCLA.
Okay.
To support the university. So, I mean, it's just, I think it's all in the minds, and being innovative and introducing new programs. Hey, as long as, we have the support and the funding, we can do a lot.
So you were deputy CEO. Wasn't Deborah from Denver? Didn't she used to work there too at Long Beach?
Yes, she absolutely
Yeah,
did.
and then who's your CEO there?
Currently,
Yeah.
it's still Ken McDonald.
Yeah, CEO of the year for APTA. So
Yes.
for those of you who are listening, hopefully we'll get him on the podcast later this summer. That's good. Man, that's a great system there. You're pumping out leaders.
Yeah, I have that. So you'll have to thank him.
Yeah, I will. That's great. So John, I noticed in the front of Dartley you got some numbers down there. What are they?
All right. So when we created Dartley, we wanted to make sure that really reflective of the organization. So, got stop announcement.
Yeah.
So we have those three numbers represent our 3 labor unions
Oh, okay.
that work at DART: drivers, mechanics, service supervisors, info center. Those represent the 3 unions. And then on the back, there's the number 1787, which is the year Delaware ratified the Constitution.
Yeah, we went to the courthouse in Newcastle where they were voting and all that jazz. Yeah.
And then the route number is 95 for 1995 when Delaware Transit Corporation was created.
Oh, okay. That's cool, man. What's this deal up here, John?
So that's our infotainment system. We installed it a few years ago, and it's really a tool to help us communicate with our customers. As a former transit CEO, how to connect with your customers is challenging. And so this does a lot of different things. Traditionally, buses have audio announcements, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, this brings visual to it as well. So if someone has a hearing impairment, they'll see the things that the bus is saying. It also allows us to, put alerts out about public hearings or things very specific to a route. You can put a route detour for a very specific route up there.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about some of the goodwill stuff we do. It could be a revenue source selling advertisement.
Okay.
So it's really multifunctional. We can do things in English and Spanish. We can do multiple ways of doing things if we know the community and the needs. So it's just, I remember starting my career, we used to run around and post up, hey, bus stop closures, and public hearing notices, and all those things were really labor intensive.
Yeah.
So this this really helps bridge that gap and do a lot of stuff. So right now, this thing up there about our customer survey that we just launched on Monday.
Okay.
So it's a QR code. You can click the QR code and take our customer satisfaction survey.
Oh, right here on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So instead of having pieces of paper out there, and then we can change things out at an instant. So it's really, really neat.
And you have this on all your buses?
All our fixture out buses.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
And who controls the messaging?
So our marketing team.
Okay.
In the back office.
Oh, I know somebody there. I think her name's Larissa.
Yeah. Our team, they do an amazing job. So they program what's going on. We have a contractor that helps us sell advertising, whether it's a bus wrap or internal ads.
Oh, that's
so
good.
They've done some with the lottery and some other areas to do some ads that way, and we expect that to continue to grow. You can share the route tree and what your next stop's coming up, all those different things. So it's really convenient.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We've had a great time in Delaware here, filming with John Sisson, the CEO, the outgoing CEO of Delaware Transit Corporation's DART First State Service. They are, a state organization, but they operate transit system in multiple parts of the state. When I was at the MTA, remember, I was the general manager of the city of Baltimore and gave money to all the 23 jurisdictions to run their own transit systems. That's not how it is here in Delaware. They may be the only state, or one of only 2 or 3, that do it this way. It was great to also be here at the perfect time when Lilia Montoya was here. She's the incoming CEO, coming from California. She's got a month overlap with John, so she can learn the ropes and what all the new projects are, current projects are, and then take it on from there. John's been a good friend of mine for years, being neighbors. I live only 45 minutes from here, and this transit system is fantastic. Not only is it a statewide system where they have, the big buses and heavy rail that they pay money to SEPTA to come down to Wilmington and operate that service in Newark, but also they've got a whole system in the center of the state, right, in Dover, the capital, and then more down here at the beach, shuttle services, all that back and forth to park and rides. It really is a fully integrated system, and I think they're the only one in America that does paratransit border to border. We didn't talk a whole lot about it, but they also have a microtransit service, which is operating in zones right now where they have their own vehicles are operating. You can, dial it up or put it on your phone. It's John's built a great system here, really. So kudos to him as he heads out into retirement. We wish him the very best. This has been an awesome visit with him. Hopefully you've enjoyed, as I mentioned before, we're going to be doing video podcasts now whenever we can. And, this is one of those travel podcasts, but we've got the great Cindy doing the filming behind the scenes, Cindy Raskin, and we're going to try to bring you video whenever we can for this podcast going forward. Thanks for being with us on this episode of Transit Unplugged. And if you think about Delaware Transit, think about what an amazing system it is.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transit Unplugged, the world's #1 transit executive podcast. I'm Julie Gates, executive producer of the podcast. Many thanks to the team that makes this show happen. Host and producer Paul Comfort. Producer Chris O'Keefe, editor Patrick Emile, associate producer Cindy Raskin. Transit Unplugged is being brought to you by Modaxo, passionate about moving the world's people. If you would enjoy behind-the-scenes insights and updates from the show, sign up for our weekly newsletter, which has links to can't-miss conversations with the biggest names in mobility. Head to transitunplugged.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Transit Unplugged.